We welcome you to the Priscilla R. Tyson Cultural Arts Center for our Conversations and Coffee today on this 20th day of June, 2024. I'm Ellen O'Shaughnessy, coordinator of the program. Today follows Juneteenth, yesterday, the 19th, celebrated as a federal holiday declared by our very president, Biden. And since June 19th, 1865, 250,000 enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, found out from Union troops that had arrived in Galveston that day that the Black people had been freed after the end of the Civil War 2 years after President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation that had declared freed only those slaves living in states not under Union control. So, wow, many celebrations followed that announcement in Berry, Texas that day, dancing and celebrating. So happy Juneteenth, yesterday and every day, for the Black community through their presence and gifts to us in these beloved United States of America. And today we have the gift of beautiful Nanette Marie Hodge of the American Black Legacy, keeping it alive as an author, playwright, director, and producer. We welcome you, Nanette. And as you've authored a book, Mama's Drama, and 3 plays, Mama's Drama, Suzette's Saga, and The Theater Meets the Church, you're working on your 4th play. Nanette was a producer for a movie released in 2023, Things Are Tough All Over, written by Chris Bornia of Columbus. In 2007, Nanette was at the National Black Theater Festival in Winston-Salem for the first time when she received a call that her mother unexpectedly died at home here in Columbus. She didn't understand why the creator would take her mother while Nanette was so far away. But when she returned to the National Black Theater Festival, Nanette got into conversation with Garland Lee Thompson, Sr., New York theater producer, writer, actor, co-founder and executive director of the Fran Silvera Writers Workshop and creator of the Readers Theater series at the prestigious National Black Theater Festival. This conversation helped her realize that she was to write her story, and she thought maybe her mother had something to do with it in spirit, huh? Nanette always enjoyed writing poems and wrote and recorded a song, Starlight, Star Bright, for a children's book. She entered the realm of theater in 2010 and 2011. Mama's Drama play was staged in 2011 at the Performing Arts Theater here in Columbus. Nanette shares that she's been pleased that Mama's Drama and Suzette's Saga were chosen for both the Reader series and full stage production at the Atlanta Black Theater Festival and the Washington, D.C. Black Theater Festivals. Additionally, they were chosen for the Reader series at the National Black Theater. Her 3rd play, Theater Meets the Church, was chosen and performed at the Washington, D.C. Black Theater Festival. Theater Meets the Church was read during the time frame of COVID at the Atlanta Black Theater Festival in 2021. And during that COVID time, a lot of people praying, huh? Yes. Nanette Marie is a native of Columbus, the proud mother of Chad, yeah, and grandmother to Dominique. She dearly loves the time she spends with her family and friends. She shares also, as you reflected on that, you balanced family with a corporate background and managed political campaigns, worked with social organizations such as the Columbus Urban League, She recently served as the executive director of the 2024 Martin Luther King Jr. Breakfast. And that's how we met, huh? And she believes wholeheartedly that the experiences she's had with various diverse organizations helped to prepare her for the creative journey she continues to love and enjoy. Nanette shares that while not a trained psychologist, she feels she's living her purpose when people share that her creative work has been a healing influence in their lives. Thank you, Nanette, for bringing your creative work to us. And thank you, community, for helping us, leading us in this word that Annette has out to the community. Magnificent. Bravo.
I'm so shy. I just will try my best. Hi. Yes. Yeah, you can tell that's a friend. Totally. Okay, it's my esteemed pleasure to be here. Mary Ellen, I almost called you Mary Ellen. Ellen, I'm so glad we had the chance to talk, and which resulted in us being here. As she said, I'm Nanette Marie, and I wouldn't be without people in my life. So while Chad is my biological family, everybody here, they're my family as well. We have Lisa Early. We have Reggie McMillian. We have Andrea Mulkey, and we have Chad Hodge. They've been with me. Most of them are actors, and even though Andrea just would act up and help me with technical and camera things, I grabbed her here today. So, today we're going to first read from my book, Mama's Drama. Come on in, ladies. Grab a bookmark right there on the sewing machine. And then we're going to show you how you go from a book to a play. But really, I have to be honest, usually plays and movies are adapted from a book, but I did the plays first, okay? And then the creator was like, finish the book, do the book. And I was like, I don't want to. But he's like, yeah, you're going to do it. So I did. So we have the blessing to have both of them today. So if any questions so far? If not, we'll go right into the reading. Okay, would everyone stand so we can read, and I'll come over. And we're going to read from chapter 17. The spring weather is picturesque this Saturday afternoon in May of 1950. The sky is blue, the grass is green, and the flowers are in full bloom. All is well with the Price family. George continues his job as an anodizer at B&T Metals and his part-time job at the Cattle Club. Josephine keeps up with their family and the household, as well as her steady relationship with Raymond. The attraction and romance with Dante has run its course, so she has only seen him on a few occasions. She has more than enough on her plate with her family and Raymond. And let me tell the characters. Lisa is going to be Josephine. Reggie is going to be George and Raymond. Andrea is going to be Aunt Susan and Shirley. Shirley's a good friend of Josephine. And Chad is going to be Dante, which is Suzette's, well, we'll just say he's going to be Dante. We'll let you find out what happens. Okay, so Josephine paces the living room floor as her contractions grow stronger. George paces with her, rubbing her back and offering words of encouragement. Shirley and Aunt Susan sit on the sofa, waiting to assist with the delivery.
Now, Josephine, you've been having those contractions since early this morning. I believe this baby is going to be here pretty soon. You just keep walking. It'll be over before you know it.
Her concerned Aunt Susan says. Shirley adds,
Josephine, your stomach has dropped considerably and your contractions are getting closer together. It should be any time now.
My back really hurts and I feel like I need to have a bowel movement. I hope you're right,
says a hopeful Josephine. Josephine feels pressure when she sits on the toilet, but no bowel movement. The pressure gets more intense, and she realizes her baby's head is crowning. She steps into the tub, and they all rush in when she shouts.
The baby is coming.
Aunt Susan is perplexed.
Josephine, why are you in the bathtub?
Shirley sees the baby crowning and throws a towel to George.
Oh my God! Catch the baby, George!
George's nervous hands hold the towel while Shirley and Aunt Susan help Josephine breathe and push out the newest price edition. The children hear the commotion and are now waiting in the living room, anxious to see their newest sibling. George brings her into the room, and she is wrapped in a pretty pink blanket.
Your mama's fine, and she's resting right now. You can see her in a little while. This is your sister, Suzette Marie. She was named after your great aunt Susan. She must have decided she wanted a bath first thing, and she was born in a bathtub.
The children gather around to inspect their newest addition. Carolyn, now awake, joins her brother and sisters in welcoming the baby. George holds Suzette close to her so she can get a good look. Daddy, is she really my sister? She looks like my doll baby, she says in all innocence. George takes a long look at Suzette, and her bone-straight hair and olive skin stand out from the others. He decides it's from his Grandpa Randall's Native American side of the family.
Suzette's not a doll baby. She's your sister. Hello, my pretty little Suzette.
He says, now looking at her somewhat questionably. Out of the mouth of babes. Josephine hasn't seen or spoken to Dante since a couple of months before Suzette was born. Dante knew she was due in May and asked Raymond about her when he came in his bar. Raymond told him she had a baby girl and is doing fine. Dante can't understand why Josephine hasn't at least touched base with him. He has no way to contact her, as she didn't give him their home phone number. She learned her lesson from having Raymond call and wasn't going to add insult to injury. She doesn't care about Dante the way she does George or Raymond anyway. Dante shows her the fantasy side of life, and she loves his status. She has a good time when they see each other, but their affair was short-lived, and they haven't been intimate in months. She doesn't drink when she's pregnant, so her visits to the bar became less frequent as her pregnancy progressed. Josephine thinks about Dante more than she cares to admit, especially when she looks at her newborn. The day after Father's Day, she calls him, and he is thrilled to hear her voice.
Hello, Josephine. Raymond told me you had a baby girl. Congratulations. I bet she is beautiful, especially if she looks like her mama.
Josephine is straightforward.
She has bone straight hair and olive skin, Dante.
Initially dumbfounded, he recovers.
Do any of your other children have straight hair and olive skin?
No, she's the only one.
Dante's thoughts scramble, and after getting nowhere fast or slow, he asks,
I'm trying to remember when we began having sexual relations.
That's all I've thought about. It was August of last year.
Dante counts on his fingers.
So, if I do the math correctly, that was 9 months ago. Josephine, is she my child?
I don't know, Dante. George and I had been fighting, and we weren't having sex regularly, and I wasn't intimate with Raymond during the time that she was conceived. I don't know. Maybe she'll change in a couple of months.
But you said none of your other children have the same features.
Josephine is silent.
What is her name?
Suzette Marie.
Suzette Marie. What a pretty name. Josephine, do you think Suzette is my child?
He asks again, hoping she will give him a definitive answer.
Dante, I told you I don't know.
I want to see her. Do you need anything? Money, diapers, milk. I will give you anything, and I mean anything you need. Just tell me, and it's yours.
says a shaken Dante.
What I need, you can't give me. And that's a peace of mind. You can't buy that, Dante. Look, I'll bring her by in a little bit, okay? Goodbye.
He says goodbye and hangs up the phone. He wonders if Suzette is his. The timing and description fit. He smiles in anticipation of seeing them both. A feeling inside tells him she is his daughter. Josephine enters carrying Suzette, who is wearing a pretty lavender dress and white satin slippers, and is in a lavender blanket. Josephine looks spectacular in her navy and white polka dot dress, having discarded most of her pregnancy weight. Dante makes his way to them the moment they come through the door.
Hello, Josephine. You look fantastic.
Josephine is subdued and half-heartedly thanks him before sitting down. She doesn't open the blanket quickly enough for Dante. His curiosity about Suzette ran rampant after their earlier conversation. Dante beams at the sight of Suzette.
Oh, she is beautiful. She resembles my children by my mistress.
What have I done? A second child outside of my marriage?
She breaks down and cries the tears she's held inside for the past 6 weeks. Dante urges her to take a deep breath and try to calm down. He tells Eddie to bring her a drink, which she readily accepts.
Josephine, I want to see my daughter and will give you whatever you need. You can bring her here or to my mother's home, whichever you prefer. I want you to be comfortable while I visit with Suzette. She's so beautiful.
Josephine almost finishes the drink with one gulp. Dante continues.
And when she's old enough, I want you to tell her that I am her father.
She almost chokes.
I'm not going to do that. This is my doing, not hers. This is my shame, not hers. She may look different than the others, but there's Native American on George's side, so I'll just say that's where her looks come from. She won't know, and neither will anybody else.
Josephine, everybody should know where they come from, no matter the circumstances.
She recalls being told about Mr. Clarence.
That can be painful, Dante. Trust me, I know from my own experiences.
He asks what happened, but she refuses to talk about it and asks that Suzette and Sheila will not go through what she went through.
They won't know, and that is better for everybody. As far as I'm concerned, George Edward Price is her father, just as he is to our other children. Look, I'm ready to go. Are you taking me home or am I calling a taxi?
I'll take you and my daughter home. That way I can see her longer. Hello, my pretty little Suzette.
Josephine is only home for a short time when the telephone rings. It's Raymond calling from the phone booth.
Hi, baby. What are you doing?
She wonders that very same thing. That's the end of chapter 17 from Mama's Drama. Any questions? Thank you. Are there any questions so far?
So you said that you wrote the book after the play.
Yes.
How close is it to the play, or does it veer
That's a
off?
good question. You're getting ready to find out. How about that? Because like when you're doing, hi Diane, I'm glad everybody's here. So glad everybody's here. We know that when you're writing a book, it was difficult for me to write a book after I had written the plays. In fact, one of my dear friends who was reading the original script, she's like, well, this is just like the script. It's like your script. And I was thinking in my head, well, I'm not going to say the words I was thinking. They weren't kind because I really didn't intend on writing the book at all. But she was right. So a few days later, I came back, got them back together. I'm like, okay, like now you have a book here, So that's how it came to be. But like when you have a play, you have to be careful about how many actors that you have. When we started Mama's Drama Out, we had little Josephine at 8 years old and her siblings. We had a lot of people. And actually, the first play ran for 3 hours. Does anybody here attend plays regularly? Latest 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, and nobody left the theater. That's just called dumb luck. 4 hours. Yeah, well, I'm just claiming 3. Quit telling on me, Chad. And so as I said, so there's some differences from the play to the book because of, as I said, traveling, you want to make sure like you have main people there. And, then when you have the ones with smaller parts, then they help behind stage and stuff. So are you ready? Mark, did you have a question back there?
Sorry, I missed your introduction, but so I don't know if you covered it or not. What compelled you to write a book after you did the plays?
Oh, God. I didn't want to do any of this. This is the first time I was ever obedient, I'll be honest, because, it's about me. This is based on a true story, and it's 4 generations. So I changed the names to protect the guilty, because as she said in the introduction, when I first went to my very first theater festival, my mother passed, and I'm all the way in Winston-Salem, South Carolina. And I'm like, why'd you take her from me? I'm so far away, But that was God in his way trying to show me, because I want you to write about her. But I didn't know it. Until then 2 years later, she said, we went back and I met the person that was over the reader series, who, by the way, Garland Thompson Sr. was the first African-American in the Star Trek series. So if any of you are Trekkies, he's the first black person on there. And so it was like I said, it's the first time I was being obedient, and it feels good, because when you write a play, the play has to be close-knit and everything has to relate. I mean, it does through the book too, but in the book you have to write flowery words like, what did he look like? What did he smell like? And one of the parts that they say, well, I mean, you talk about Josephine and I think it was George having such a romantic relationship, but you don't show the romance. I was like, okay, we can do that. So when I came back with that, they were like, yeah, you got the romance part down. So any other questions before we show you the play version of this chapter?
I am the owner. Your fragrance is enchanting, and your smile is inviting. Would you care to dance?
Oh, not right now. I'd just like to sit for a while.
Well, maybe you'll change your mind. I've seen you move, and you do very well. Did you take lessons?
Yes, when I was much younger, but that has been eons ago.
Well, you still have the moves. I'd like to get to know you better. Will you allow me the pleasure?
Look, I don't think that's such a good idea, Dante. I'm married with 6 children, and I'm waiting on my lover. So my dance card is pretty full.
I see, but I'm a busy man, and I don't require a lot of time. I'll tell you what. I'll give you my private number. Take it, and at least think about calling. Ooh, Josephine, I do enjoy you.
I'll take it, but I'm not promising you anything.
I want to show you another side of life.
Another side? I already have a good life.
I will lavish you with expensive gifts and take you places you've never dreamed of going.
Okay, Dante, back up.
Oh.
Hello, Josephine. Sorry I'm late. Had to pick Beatrice up from church.
It's okay. But I need to go powder my nose.
Thanks for taking care of my lady.
I enjoyed every minute of it. She's a beautiful and intelligent woman. Be late again and I'll take her from you.
Oh, you think so? Don't make me have to put on my gloves. Don't you know who I am?
Yes, I know about you.
I'm ready to leave. Let's go, Josephine.
Okay. Goodbye, Dante. Thanks for the drinks.
Ciao. I'll see you again soon.
Josephine!
What?
Is everything all right? You've been in there for a while.
Yeah, Shirley, I'm all right. Yeah. Oh gosh. It keeps feeling like I have to use the bathroom, but oh, nothing happened. Oh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I wish this baby would just hurry up and get here, girl. I'm so tired and it's sure taking its good old time.
Well, she must figure she's worth the wait.
She? Now why do you think I'm having a girl?
Because you're carrying her high, like you have all of your girls. And Steven's the only one you carried low, and he's the only boy.
Okay. Well, I really wanted to give George another son.
Josephine,
Yeah.
do you think this baby belongs to George?
I can't believe you formed your lips to ask me that question, friend. The last time you said that, I lost our baby.
I don't want to upset you, but you know it's always Mama's baby and Daddy's maybe. And you have been with Dante and Raymond.
Look, Shirley, quit judging me. George hasn't shown me much attention or affection in a long time. And I am human, and I do get lonely. And Raymond shows me the affection that I crave. And I was intrigued by Dante, but I haven't seen him in months. Look, life is just what you make it. And I'm going to live my life, okay? And yes, this is George's baby, so quit running your mouth.
Hey, listen. What are you two fussing about now?
Oh, nothing. I was just teasing her about running to the bathroom so much.
Gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, back hurts. Oh, look, that was a hard one. I'm gonna go back to the bathroom.
Hey.
Well, call us if you need us, bestest friend.
Shirley, you're a pain in my you-know-what.
I am not the pain, but I think someone little maybe, though.
Oh, yeah.
Whew. You know, I thought she would go much earlier, but that baby is stubborn.
You're not kidding. I'll be glad when she delivers this load. I mean, she's been placing the floors for hours.
Hurry! The baby's coming,
She said the baby's coming.
hurry!
She said,
Oh,
hold on, baby.
hurry!
I'm coming.
Oh, gosh, hurry! Oh my God, George, catch the baby!
Oh, I got him. It's another baby girl. Why did you get in the bathtub?
Because I felt pressure and I realized it was her head. I didn't want her to fall into the toilet or on the floor.
Well, this ought to be the cleanest baby on earth. Only you, Josephine. Only you.
Whoa. Look at you. Suzette Marie, born in the bathtub. Got your bone straight hair and olive skin. Oh, you must be taking after my grandpa Randall's Indian side of the family. That's coming out in you. Yes. My pretty little Suzette.
Dante.
Hi, Dante. It's Josephine.
Well, Miss Sparkling One, you still carrying that bambino?
No, I had a baby girl a few weeks ago.
Congratulations. I know she is beautiful, especially if she looks like her mama.
She has straight hair and olive skin, Dante.
Do any of your other children look like her?
No.
I'm trying to recall, Josephine, when we first had relations.
It was August of last year, August 5th, 1949 to be exact.
Okay, so if I do the math correctly, that was 9 months ago. Josephine, is she my child?
I don't know. Her hair could curl or nap up, or she could get darker.
Tell me her name, Josephine.
Suzette Marie.
Suzette Marie. Such a pretty name. Josephine, from your description and the timing, I think Suzette is mine. I want to see her. Do you need anything?
Yes, some peace of mind. Look, I'll bring her by when she wakes from her nap. I'll see you later, Dante. Bye.
Ciao, Josephine. Septembre, Octobre, Novembre, Diciembre, Enero, Febrero, April, Maggio. Yes, Suzette is mine.
How do you think it compared to the reading?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Very similar.
How did you decide on the differences? Just speaking it out loud and the sound of it? Or?
Well, you mean as far as from the play and the book? Because it again is like, who are the essential characters throughout? And that's who you use throughout the plays. Because, as I said, you can't take a busload of people as actors. It's expensive, and it's just not warranted. You know, do you feel like you got the same message? Okay. Any other comments or questions?
I want to know what happens.
Well, I mean, I've got all day. You have all day?
How did you develop Dante?
It's based on a true story. I'm actually Suzette. I'm Suzette Marie. I was supposed to be named after my aunt, and her name was Nanny. I'm so glad they didn't call me Nanny, because I would have given that one up. So it is based on a true story.
Experiences for Dante in your life, then.
Yes.
Charming and good looking and all that.
And her mother. Yeah, her mother. Yeah, Dante would be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the book goes on about the rest of it, because there are quite a few turns in the story, and I cut out some of the book because I wanted to shave it down a little bit, so you didn't hear everything that was in the chapters, but you heard the most essential part of it.
Don't you
You want to read the book and listen to it
now?
Yes. Oh my gosh, you do. I'm so good.
I asked you about pictures because I like pictures. I'm a comic book fan, so that's
I mean, that's your preference.
You'd be a comic.
Okay, I'll try to change the subject for
I'm
you.
sorry, I want to read a book. Yes.
Well, so while you're looking at comic books, you can listen. It is Audible. It's on Audible too. And if any one of you who came a little after we started, there are bookmarks on the sewing machine. I did take the liberty of signing them. But what I found out is most people like hardcover books. They like to hold it in their hand so they can get it.
Not only that, to get the full picture, the full story, you need the book.
Right.
Admittedly, I've read the book twice.
And
many years ago. But just being here and hearing that presentation and watching that, it's going to be 3 times.
Well, I love Diane. This is my good friend Diane and Pandora and Greg and Nana and Shirley. She was, when she read it, and can I tell that you're related to an author? Okay. Her brother is Will Haygood. So I was thrilled when she was reading the book, and she said, I quit reading it. I had several chapters left, and I quit reading it. And I was like, well, why? Were you disappointed? She said, no, I didn't want it to end. So for her to have all that in her family, that just was delicious. And
for the record, in the event that anybody doesn't know who Will Haygood is, perhaps you're aware of the movie The Butler.
The Butler, definitely.
The writer and the producer of The Butler. I just thought I'd throw that out.
Well, yeah. So she knows what she's talking about.
I'm sorry. Will Haygood.
Right. Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger Man.
Right.
Yes,
Exactly. That's what I
East High School.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Who's your father?
I won't tell his name. Because as you read the book, you'll realize that I found out very late in life, but I was able to meet, I'll just say, some siblings from him, not knowing who they were, but just feeling real comfortable when I saw them. I'm like, wow, they just feel so comfortable to me. And then I went back to work. I was at Abbott at that point, and I had an Italian supervisor. And she's like, she threw a picture of him down. She said, you wonder why they look and feel so comfortable? You look just like her, But I have decided, and I've been saying this for years, but Chad will probably hold me to it this year, is that because I've had DNA tests done too, and for some reason they said I was related to Katie Couric, but when I read her background, there's nothing Italian that they listed as her background, so I don't know if that's real or not. But I did meet the ladies. We were supposed to get back together because there was this Italian woman at work, and she asked me one day, okay, I'll give you this little snippet from the book. She asked me one day, are you black? I'm like, yeah. She had a little attitude too. She said, all black? I'm like, yes, my mom and daddy are black. She looked at me, she said, your mama may be black, but your daddy's Italian. She said, I'm Italian. I despise the fact that you're denying your heritage. I was like, whoa, wow. Guess that wasn't a good day for her. And so she's the one who had the friends that she wanted me to meet so I could learn more about my Italian side. But then what do you think she found out when I finally confessed to her who my father was? What do you think she said? Okay, what do you think? Anybody, I need 3 people to tell me what you think she said to me. This is the lady that set me up to be Italian. Shirley, what do you think she said?
Come over to my house, I can teach you how to cook spaghetti.
Okay, I need a third one. Third one?
I told you so.
Okay. No, this is what she said. And I was at work. I was working at Abbott, and I had to be calm. She said, I don't want anything else to do with this. I was like, wow. Wow. So needless to say, I was not, yeah, Diane, you look so sad, so confused. Yeah, that's what she said. And I was like, I can't knock her head off because I'm at my job. I can't cuss loudly. Just go sit down. Just go sit down. So yeah, yeah. It was, but all the chances. And normally, if somebody would question my heritage, I would give them the whole spiel. For some reason, the creator's like, shut your mouth. Don't say his name. I would always say his name. That's why I won't say his name. But I would always say his name. This time, I tell you, this first time I was ever obedient. I just shut my mouth and found out who they were.
You left something out because he was like, I don't want any part of this, period. He was like, of what? So you forgot to tell them that when she took you to lunch and introduced you to the friends that she wanted you to.
That was before
Right.
she said that. Yeah. She said we went to the Marble Gang. We went to the Marble Gang, and that's where they met. And we had talked about, getting back to the Marble Gang and, hanging out every place. It was like, ugh. I'm like, okay, guess this lesson's over.
Were the daughters of the
Parental.
Yes.
father.
That was their father.
So that's what
I
she
did leave
when
that
her
out.
girlfriend said, now that I know who your father is and these are his daughters, I don't want anything else to do with this. I'm sorry I opened this Pandora box.
Yeah.
That would have been polite if she had said all that. She just like, I don't want anything else to do with this. I'm like, gotcha. But I know who they are. And they're here in Bexley, But Mhm. Yeah. I did some research. I mean, they were really friendly and stuff. I was like, after catching hell all my life being with the black family, I'm like, I'm not going to get to an Italian side and have to go through this again. So my whole thing was to accept who I am, because my friends can tell you, there's nobody darker than me. They're like, don't call her light. Don't call her light. So I just decided in my confusion, and that's why I know I was designed to do this work, because there's been so many people after they see the play or read the book, they've started searching for their father, and, it's been really grateful for that. And the main thing I tell people is you're not alone. And everybody on this earth was designed to be just who they are. And that's when I started loving myself, because I always felt like I was a mistake. And I just wish I had spent time accepting who I was instead of trying to be who I wasn't. So that's why, thank you. So that's why I'm so pleased with the work. Did he?
Did you see?
I got $5 for you, babe. Yeah, we do it. And my granddaughter will be here, but she's in Houston on a little visit. What other questions do we have?
You just said, you get a lot of feedback like that, like the book is bringing me to a place where I'm arriving at loving myself or who I am instead of trying to seek out this other identity that's pressured from the outside in.
Yes.
Look like should be who I am and what that kind of thing.
Yes, because when people realize that you're not the only one walking around and people are keeping secrets, which are really lies, it does take something out of you. But I remember like early on when we first started rehearsing, one of the extra cast members was crying, and she said, I really need to speak to you. I really need to talk to you. And so we went outside. Sure, let's go outside. So we went outside, and she, in tears, she told me, she said, thanks to your play, I'm going to search out my father. She said, I never felt this way before, but I'm going to search out my father. And she did. Her father had passed, but she now has 2 brothers that she didn't know of, and they have great relationships. But people feel good because, I think sometimes we carry things that we don't have to. It's just what we accustom ourselves to, and you don't have to. Just forgive whatever it is. Love yourself. Love yourself. That's the biggest one. When you depend on outer things, stimulus to make you love yourself, that's really the wrong way to go. Because being accepted is not all that it seems to be. The biggest acceptance is you accepting who you are. So now I don't have to be the darkest. Well, maybe sometimes I do. But I'm glad. I'll speak about my Italian heritage. And I did have an Italian friend that was in the play. And it was so funny because when he read the book and he was like, if you want to go speak to those people, I will go with you. And if they say or do anything to you, I will F them up. I was like, well, no, we don't need to go see them. Thank you, but we don't need to go see them.
And then I'm curious about something that is not in the book. As a young adult, before you went in the household with your other brothers and sisters, you mentioned that you had felt different. Was that in the household as well as out? Did you receive any kind of negativity with your brothers and sisters? Were there any kind of taunts about your difference, or was it just all a loving environment and you didn't even
How many questions did you ask me just then? 5? Yes. Because it was like, you're the mailman's son. You're the principal's son. Even my favorite school teacher, I was her uncle's I said son. No, I really meant daughter, okay? But it was hell because I was different, and not so much with color, but features, And, and so it was like, I got tormented everywhere, everywhere. But it was like, okay, it's what I have to live. But at least I feel now, as she said in the bio, I can help other people accept themselves, because there's a lot of people, suicide rate and all that, because some things are so trivial, but you just don't know mentally where people are, but I'm proud of me. Yes, ma'am.
How do you go from that point? I have a biracial granddaughter that they live in Arizona, and the schools that she goes to is not a large amount of the black population, and the white kids will pick on her because she's different, right? She's not a dark skin by all means, but these kids, they torment her. I mean, they really do, and I don't know how to explain to her other than, like you say, love yourself, but there's got to be something out there that can help her relate to that, to say, you are who you are, and it's for a reason. 13.
Okay. Have her read the book. I'm not trying to sell a book. She'll relate to the book so much because it's very detailed, and she will get it. But keep reinforcing to her that the creator, I don't know who you believe in, God or whoever your creator, that she was divinely made to be on this earth. She was not a mistake. She's purposely put on this earth. And if she doesn't love herself, she's not going to attract people that do. And plus, those little fools that call her and torment her, they're probably the most unhappy people on the earth.
Just jealous of her.
Yeah, totally jealous. Yeah. Thank you, Chad. I didn't want to say that, but.
In addition to reading the book?
In addition to reading the book, I think that, reading the book, she'll relate to it on a different level, because the circumstances might be different, but just what she dealt with being a biracial person, she would be able to identify with that. But I think, maybe her parents could find like other mixed race children, or some type of a support group. And it might sound kind of, like cliche-ish or whatever, but being able to identify with other people in her age group that are experiencing the same issues could help her a lot, because unfortunately in this day and age, kids are taunted so much. Teen suicide rate is up. It's because a lot of people are bullied, not just in school, they're bullied on the internet. And so if she can find some support, whether it's, in person or, online, a support group with other people who are like her in her age group, I think that would help her tremendously, because a lot of times it takes young people to give other young people permission, right, they look to their peers to get permission to do certain things. And they'll draw strength from that. You know what I mean? So, yes, ma'am.
Really good.
What else do we have?
Just on that same take of read the book, there are other books out there that will make a person understand that being different is not bad, and being talented may not be anything other than you just come through fire and you develop it. You know, who are your literary influences? If you can give us a few names.
Believe it or not, I'm not a reader. I'm a creator. I love Reader's Digest, okay, because they just took it out and just broke it down real quick, fast and in a hurry. But Iyanla Van Zandt, Wayne Dyer, those are my two favorites. Anything else? Anybody have anything to say on the readers? Okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to mention one. There's a writer called Tommy Orange. It's like orange. And he's native and white. And he wrote a book of short stories called There. And it's extraordinary. And he goes around and actually talks with kids in high school who just really, the book really resonates with them. They're from, a lot of them are from mixed race backgrounds, and it just really resonates. The beauty, I think, of one of the beauties about being a mixed race kid is that it really can open, once they get to the acceptance, it can open up so many doors. So many doors of where they can feel comfortable in a variety of settings. I love it.
Oh, I wrote that down, so I'll make sure that I share that.
They are there.
They're
there.
T-H-E-R-E.
Like had on the back, like there.
Johnny Orange, he's probably around 35, 36 years old. And he has come out with a new novel I've not read yet, but the book of short stories, There just blew me up.
Great.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention, thanks, Chad, that Mama's Drama is available in the library. I know it's at Columbus and Bexley, so I haven't checked it recently, but they can get it in for you. It was there a few years ago. I haven't checked recently, but I don't see why it'd be discontinued. If enough of you ask for it, they get it back in. If it's not, yeah.
Also purchase it?
Yeah, but I didn't bring any. I didn't bring any extras with me. Yeah, Amazon.com. And look for my name instead of the Mama's Drama, because you'll get a whole listing of different mamas. Mama. Yeah, so just look Nanette Marie, and it'll pull it up.
What was the first one you mentioned? Wayne Dyer.
Wayne Dyer.
Before that, you said another name.
Iyanla Van Zandt. Iyanla. She's a spiritual teacher.
So, Fix Your
She
Life.
did Fix Your Life, yeah. It was on home. She's real deep. She stopped the series, but the reruns are. So
I was reflecting as you were saying. My husband and I adopted 2 children, and as they were only 3 weeks apart, and I had a miscarriage, and the heart was part of it, of the child, and the sister, Dominican nun, said, "Just name it Joey and have it be by your side." Well, okay, Joey. 2 children, all of a sudden, amazing, 3 weeks apart. And when they were in school, our John had the most wonderful sense of humor. He'd say, "Yeah, are you 2 twins?" And John would say, "Not quite." And we brought families together, and I found out that John's birth father was stalking me. And when I was delivering the invocation and benediction at the Franklin University graduation, he called out, "There she is!" But it was the same wonderful discovery. I brought the families together, and this Father Vinny, you've probably read about, who just recently died, he did a liturgy, and it was so beautiful. And you have brought that story to my heart again, because as you tell this story of being born, what a gift. Let's celebrate that, everybody. We are being born. Hallelujah. And that includes Channel 3 over there. You're allowed to clap.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. All right. Thank you. And thank you to my family, and all of my family, and my new friends here.